There was once a shoemaker who, through no fault of his own, had become so poor that at last he had only enough leather left for one pair of shoes. That evening, he cut out the shoes which he intended to begin upon the next morning, and since he had a good conscience, he lay down quietly, said his prayers, and fell asleep. In the morning, he was preparing to sit down to work, when he found the pair of shoes standing finished on his table. He was amazed and could not understand it in the least. He took the shoes in his hands to examine them more closely. They were so neatly sewn that not a stitch was out of place, and were as good as the work of a master hand. A customer came in, and as he was so pleased with the shoes, he paid more than the ordinary price for them, so that the shoemaker was able to buy leather for 2 pairs with the money. He cut them out in the evening, and the next day, as he was about to go to work, he found out he had no need to, for when he got up, the shoes were finished, and buyers were not lacking. These gave him so much money that he was able to buy leather for 4 pairs of shoes. Early next morning, he found the 4 pairs finished, and so it went on. What he cut out during the evening was finished in the morning. He was soon again a well-to-do man. One evening, not long before Christmas, he said to his wife,
"What do you think, if we were to sit up tonight to see who it is that lends us such a helping hand?"
The wife agreed, lighted a candle, and they hid themselves in the corner of the room behind the clothes which were hanging there. At midnight came 2 little men who sat down at the shoemaker's table, took up the cut-out work, and began with their tiny fingers to stitch, sew, and hammer so neatly and quickly that the shoemaker could not believe his eyes. They did not stop till everything was quite finished and stood complete on the table. Then they ran swiftly away. The next day, the wife said,
"The little men have made us rich, and we ought to show our gratitude. They ran about with nothing on, and must freeze with cold. Now I shall make them little shirts, coats, waistcoats, and will even knit them stockings. And you shall make them each a pair of shoes."
The shoemaker agreed. And that evening, when they had everything ready, they laid out the presents on the table and hid themselves to see how the little men would behave. At midnight, they came skipping in and were about to set to work. But instead of the leather ready cut out, they found the charming little clothes. At first they were surprised, then excessively delighted. With the greatest of speeds, they put on and smoothed down the pretty clothes, singing,
"Now we dress so fine and neat, why couple more for others' feet?"
Then they hopped and danced about, and leaped over chairs and tables, and out the door. Henceforward, they came back no more. But the shoemaker had good luck in all his undertakings, and did well for as long as he lived.